I was talking to a friend who's a mom, and she was explaining to me that she's about had enough of listening to kids explain pop culture to her. Um, she was describing a kid showing her collection of DVDs and manga and explaining how much they had paid for every individual one. And she said, I've about had my fill of it. I'm a mother of four boys, and I really can't stand to hear people talking about their hobbies that I have no interest in anymore. I'm tired. And America, that goes for everybody. I think all moms have had it up to here with this. I used to waste my mom's time telling her about stupid thing. What did I tell her about? Oh, in Ninja Turtles movie 2, they did have an evil turtle, but it wasn't Spike from the comics. They named him Razor for some reason, and he was a snapping turtle who was mutated by ooze. I don't know. I think it should have been Spike. Spike's pretty cool. Why didn't they have Bebop and Rocksteady in the second movie? Huh? Obviously. And now my partner watches reality TV, and I come in. It just seems to be people yelling and shouting at each other and crying. But I come in, and my partner explains some of the plot to me, so I know what's going on. Oh, this person, his family has never accepted her as part of the family, and they hired a private detective to look him up, dig up dirt on him, and they didn't find any, but that didn't stop them from hating him. And then they got into like a fist fight at dinner one night, and his mom's sister pulled out his niece's extensions. And I'm like, I don't care, but I love you, so I'll listen and I'll nod and I'll pretend to care. And I'll turn from my video game and I'll say, such a drag. I've been playing this cheesy deck where I use Aetherflux Reservoir to power out Ulamog, a 10 drop, on turn 4 if I'm lucky, sometimes turn 5 by collecting 6 energy. And, game's over at that point. And I think it's fun to do that, but I'm grumpy that my opponents sometimes use Tybalt's Trickery to play Ulamog on turn 2 when I don't even have 2 permanents for it to destroy. And my partner just nods and says, I don't care at all, but I love you, so I'll pretend to care. I love my own mom so much, and I apologize for being a little shit to her when I was a kid. One thing I think of is I regret not eating the sandwiches that she would hand make me in my lunch every single day in elementary school. I would probably ask her, can I just eat hot lunch like my friends? And she'd say, I'm sorry, I crunched the numbers, and that's $2.50 a day. And Isaac, how much is that a month? $50 a month. Right, and how much would it be for your brother and your sister to also eat hot lunch every day? $150 a month. Right. That's too much. I can't afford it. So she'd make me lunch meat sandwiches with mayo and a slice of cheese on whole wheat bread, and I complained she cut the cheese too thick. And it was probably because I was hoping she would cave in and buy those Kraft singles. Sometimes she'd run out and she'd make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and those probably cost about 62 cents. I'd eat them now, of course, and I'd like to think I'd eat anything if I was hungry, but then I was too picky and I would just throw them away. Probably after checking that the cheese was too thick. I've worked in schools, and now often in cafeterias there's a I don't want it spot to put things so those without food can eat. But back then I just tossed it. I'm mortified at my behavior then. You know how you'd look forward to lunch so much because you looked forward to that sugar. And there's sugar in the juice box or Capri Sun, which is sweet, and gummy fruit snacks. Loved the gummy fruit snacks. And then if you run out, your mom wouldn't put a gummy fruit snack in your lunch bag. And you open your lunch bag excited, and there's only a sandwich. Maybe a carrot. So you have this attitude like, I'm going to come home and I'm going to give my mom a piece of my mind. Mom, there was no fruit snack in my lunch today. I know, we ran out. And we can't afford them anyway. Mom, did you know that I never eat the sandwich you give me? I always throw it away. So if you don't put a fruit snack in there, it's like you give me nothing at all for lunch. No, I didn't know that. That's the sound of her going back to her sewing machine that she callously returned to, ignoring me, probably making clothes for her children. Thanks, Mom. One of my favorite forms of paranomasia is acronyms, an abbreviation formed from the initial letters of other words and pronounced as a word, such as scuba and laser. Did you know scuba stands for self-contained underwater breathing apparatus, and laser for light amplification by stimulated emulated radiation? Did you know that there are other acronyms such as DISCO, which stands for dance impressively, swing, chasse, oscillate? GHOST. Did you know GHOST stands for ghoulish homunculus of shadowy travels? Glacier stands for gigantic, lugubrious accumulation of compacted ice, Erie River. Vampire, did you know, stands for vainglorious aristocrat making people indulge or idolize? Retreat, expire. Blood stands for bilious liquid operating oxygen distribution. But my favorite is crush, which stands for clandestine romantic unrequited subject of harassment.
You know, a private sailboat is way more fun than a big cruise ship because on a private sailboat you can get off several times a day.
I feel real guilty sometimes about the people who want to be my friend, but I thought I was too cool for them and I blew them off and I wasn't interested in being their friend. Because I get so hurt when I want to be someone's friend and they don't want to be my friend. Like, once there was this guy, and when he heard that I was a producer, I make tracks, he was like, do you want to come over sometime and sample my DVDs? I've got a lot of DVDs. I've got like a big collection of really cool, like, contemporary modern DVDs, and you could sample from them. And I was like, no, I'm good. So, sorry. You know, every scene has a pecking order where there's like cooler rappers, better rappers than you, and it's really flattering and exciting to be asked to rap on their track, you know? But if someone with like weak flow asks you to rap on their track, it's like, no, I'm not interested. It would bring down my social capital to appear on your track.
The gingerbread woman enjoyed meeting the gingerbread man because she was excited to have a cinnamon stick inside her.
I like to cultivate an air of mysteriousness in my relationship. My partner calls it poor communication skills. For instance, one way I obfuscate language is I take nouns, mystery, turn them into adjectives, mysterious, turn them back into nouns, mysteriousness. That's one way to obfuscate language. I try to be an optimist, but my partner says I'm so much of an optimist that it makes me a pessimist. Let me explain. I'm an optimist, and I believe in my heart truly that most people are more optimistic than I am. So I'm always letting myself down by not being as optimistic as I should be. And that's a pessimistic outlook to have.